One small step for the privileged few now on 4, NASA's astronauts.
The Space Shuttle Endeavour has returned to the Kennedy Space Center in Florida after its 9th successful mission. In 3 months' time, it will blast off from here yet again with a new crew on board. But first it needs a complete overhaul. Commander Brian Duffy and his crew of 5 have come to inspect the damage to the shuttle inflicted by its last punishing re-entry into the Earth's atmosphere. Tires, tiles and windows have survived temperatures of 1500 degrees centigrade on the shuttle's return to Earth. Engineers check and replace thousands of ceramic tiles which cracked and buckled in the heat.
A month or something?
Yeah, probably more than that, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been here longer than that.
Yeah.
Kind of lose track of time whenever you're working every day.
Yeah. Material that's between the tiles or any protrusions of the tile themselves will be out into the hot flow of the gas that we encountered during the re-entry, and that actually melts and smears back, and you can see the results of it here on all of the tiles on the bottom.
They're replacing my window, what will be my window down there, so I wanted to take a look.
There's a window that's been used.
And we'll have to polish that. It hasn't been polished. Polishing will take 40% of that away, but you're still going to have a dull gray appearance, but it will be clearer than it is right now.
But that's kind of typical the way a window looks when it comes back?
Yeah, that hasn't been touched since it came back.
NASA has 4 reusable shuttle spacecraft: Discovery, Atlantis, Columbia and Endeavour. One is always in dock being repaired for the next mission. Endeavour mission STS-72 is to capture a Japanese satellite, the Space Flyer Unit, or SFU. A team from NASDA, the Japanese space agency, has arrived in Houston to meet the astronauts and explain the finer points of their valuable asset.
So it's going to be pointed that way as we come, and we're traveling this way.
A cardboard model of the satellite carefully assembled by the Japanese engineers and a toy shuttle from the NASA souvenir shop prove valuable aids to international understanding.
No, you're right.
It's going to be...
That's right, it's this way. Yeah.
So it's that way, and we're coming around this way at sunrise. So we're going to be moving relative to it, right?
It won't appear to rotate too much because we're in...
That's going to be actually the... we'll be looking this way, as it says, yes. And the opposite side, over there will be looking like this, right after sunrise.
Right, and we're going to see here. So from that attitude, it's going to continue to stay here, and we're going to... And then we're going to see, it's going to do 2 maneuvers.
Yes.
It's going to yaw 90 degrees this way.
Yes.
And then it's going to roll 90 degrees that way. You would rather have that thing like a foot, right?
Yeah, I think it'll work.
The crew now have a chance to test their skills capturing the satellite. Since the early days of the Apollo missions, astronauts have rehearsed their space travel in a simulator. The flight deck in a simulator works exactly the same way as the one in the shuttle. Every key and switch is in the same place, and a wraparound back projection screen using 3D computer images makes it hard to tell the simulator from the real thing.
So we're complete basically here.
On the flight deck, the astronauts have to get used to working together in an area the size of a small van.
Okay, Story, thanks for the heads up on that, and we'll be ready for that, but first things first here, we'll go ahead and get that SFU.
During the 12 months of training, all of Brian Duffy's 9-day mission will be run minute by minute in the simulator. Every conceivable problem that the instructors can think of is thrown at the crew in this exercise. 600 hours of emergency scenarios will test the crew's skills at solving problems which could put the mission in jeopardy. Today, the training team are testing the crew's ability to find and capture the Japanese satellite without scientific aids. They failed the onboard radar, which would automatically guide Endeavour to its target. The crew will now have to take control manually and attempt to capture the SFU on their own.
Establish pulse, 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 minus Z, flight control power A, inertial burn.
Flight control power A, inertial, I'm going primary.
Okay, prize required. You're going to skip the yaw. Go right to
Yeah, that's good.
place and maintain the target on the COAS.
I got a ways to go to get
Okay. Still have 2 minutes and 45 seconds, so you got plenty of time.
Oh, great. Hey, put pitch pulse.
Got it.
please.
Pitches pulse.
Okay, thanks.
We've got 2 minutes and 20 seconds, Brian, so plenty of time to get it.
Okay, yeah, it's coming down now.
Okay, 2 minutes to the fail solution. If you're going to be set up at 19, I'll do a preliminary just to see the magnitude of the burn.
Yeah, you can look at it right now. It's within a quarter degree. It's right on. Right
Okay.
now.
I'm going to be needing a lot of radar marks pretty quickly.
To avoid a collision with the satellite, Brian Duffy, who is guiding the spacecraft by eyesight only, uses closing speed and distance information from a laser range gun.
Stand by, mark, laser, please. Oh, shit.
Kevin, range and range rate, please. Range and range rate, please. Range and range rate, please.
Sorry, we copy. We will use the
Koichi, talk to him in a minute.
Range and range rate.
1770 closing at 3.3.
Thank you.
Okay, that's what we're looking, Brian. It's not looking too bad.
Pretty much under control.
It's not looking too bad.
Okay.
Keep the another laser mark, Lori. It's looking really nice. Intercepting at about 500 feet.
Okay. Yeah, it looks pretty close, I think.
Okay. Laser mark, Lori.
830 feet, closing at 1 decimal.
It goes in very slowly.
Right.
So where's that going to put us? 4 or 5 minutes?
This will stall you. Looks like it'll stall you out about 300 feet. Still got the sun up there.
Yeah, it's the satellite is almost right now coming to high noon, so it'll be real hard to see right now with that sun up there in front of that.
Brent Jett plots Endeavour's position and the course to steer on a laptop computer.
Very slowly headed towards the nose. It's about 9 degrees now. So.
Okay. Lori, can I get a laser mark?
540 feet, closing at decimal 14.
If you can close in
We're closing.
2
It's
feet,
close, we're closing very
right.
right now, Koichi. We're getting it.
Koichi Wakata is to capture the satellite. A television camera on the end of Endeavour's robot arm sends pictures back to the flight deck. This is the astronaut's only reference point. He has 4 minutes to catch the satellite. Endeavour would need to make another orbit of the Earth before he could try again.
The pitch error will be easily be corrected using the all the pitch joints, and whenever it's stable, I can go grapple it. Okay, shoulder yaw is minus 90, and shoulder pitch goes to 125.4.
That's great. Okay, we did the stable. Gonna slide right in there, I do believe.
Whenever it's stable.
Okay, you're about a foot from the end of the pin. Looking real nice.
Just a little. There
Yeah.
Okay, looking good. You're about 6 inches from the end of the pin.
Okay.
Looking good.
Right over the end of the pin.
Okay.
Starting to lose it, so you're...
Let go for capture, please. You're in the envelope.
Okay, capture. 3 seconds.
I'm watching it.
Okay.
Capture?
3 seconds.
We have capture.
Capture.
You're the man.
Okay.
A successful capture heralds lunch.
Captured.
Okay. Ready? Here, I'll switch that to...
You are the man of the moment.
Yeah, let's see what we got.
Oh, great.
Rice Krispies, I think it's a little late for that.
Below the flight deck is a replica of Endeavour's mid-deck, where the crew eat and sleep during missions.
What's that you put there?
Tropical punch. Just want to make sure it's all dissolved. Yeah, I threw that in there. This makes nice big red balls in space. Just squeeze it out. Just have to be careful you don't hit the wall with it.
You tried the strawberries? The strawberries are pretty good.
I take strawberries when I go talk to little kids. Have you ever done that?
Yeah.
You make it for them. They'll give you a big syringe.
Yeah.
And it's graduated, so you can, have
so
one of the kids get you some water, and then, you draw the water out and you stick it in and hydrate it for them. It's just a big plastic syringe, and it has ounces marked on it, so you can draw the right amount of ounces.
It's very good for children.
But don't let the kids play with the needle, though. If they poke themselves, accidentally, then you're gonna get fined for it. So
that's a way to not get invited back, right?
Leroy Chow is the chief spacewalker on this mission. Today, he tries out his spacesuit for the first time.
The critical test in preparing for a spacewalk is the vacuum chamber test. This is a test that's used to evaluate the hardware and the tools that we'll actually be using in space to make sure that they can hold up to the environment of space, the vacuum and the cold, where we can get down to minus 100 degrees Fahrenheit. In the spacesuit, we breathe pure oxygen, which is pressurized only to about 1/3 that of a normal Earth's atmosphere. That's to allow us to be able to bend our arms and move our legs without having to exert a lot of force. Much of the hardware you see in here today in the vacuum chamber, they're the actual flight units that we'll be using on our space shuttle mission. The structure that is holding the backpack of my suit is a counterweight, because when I'm in the suit, the combined mass is well over 500 pounds. And so we need this counterweight so that we can stand up and I can move around and not be burdened by the weight of the suit. I'm walking on the treadmill here, and I'll be varying my heat load, and actually this gets to be pretty hard work. What we do here is we build up a sweat, and then we rest for a period of time to allow the sweat to become cold and simulate the worst case scenario of a spacewalk where you're working very hard and you're going to sweat, and then you have a period of inactivity. And the concern, of course, is that now that your body is somewhat wet, then the cold temperatures are going to come in and make it very uncomfortable.
Turn around and face to the front.
Today's test will also be evaluating the improvements made to the spacesuit that will allow astronauts to stay warm even in these cold temperatures.
So we just going out? Yeah, you going out and clean up and... Ready? Yeah. Here we go. Okay, what are we gonna do?
Katie Coleman has just returned from her first space flight. She was in the same training class as the 4 rookies on Brian Duffy's crew. Her first-hand experience is invaluable to a new boy.
It's a magical feeling. It's one of the 2 most incredible things about being up there, I think, is floating. It's not floating, it's flying, Like when you're going to go across the room, at first you think that maybe you have to be Superman and, launch like this, and then you figure out that you just need to give a little push with 2 fingers, and you can go all the way across the room or all the way across the lab. We had the big lab to do experiments in, so it was a lot of room.
Get used to this new environment pretty quick.
Absolutely. It's a little funny at first, and I can't say I felt great at first. But on our flight, everybody actually felt really, really good. I know Brian and Leroy will tell you this, but that if you move your head very quickly, the whole world will sort of move, and you won't feel very well. And so it's important to move very slowly. Maybe just pretend like you're in 1G and you should do everything right side up. Maybe the first 1 or 2 days, because it takes a little while, and then, it's just amazing. I loved every minute of it. I didn't want to come home. Then there's the window, just looking down at the Earth. And it's different than the pictures. It's different than the movies. It's different than all those things, because you really can feel the fact that you are looking out from this very special platform and getting to look out at the whole Earth, and there's no lines between the countries. There's no letters saying which ones they are, so you have to know your geography. It's a magical place. I really felt as if I was on a different planet and a very privileged visitor to that planet, and I didn't want to come home. It's so special to go and do this, Koichi. Everyone tells us this, and it's really true. You know how they say it's incredibly great and it'll be the experience of your whole life? Mm-hmm. Well, it's bigger than that. Everyone asks me if it surpassed if it was if it lived up to my expectations, then I say it was more than that. And it's really true.
Do you think we have changed in some ways compared to before your flight?
I think I'm still the same. I feel like I know a secret. I've been to a special place. And all the people who've flown before, who you ask them about what flight was like, and they just get a certain look in their eyes. I know what they're thinking about.
Oh, okay. How did you like the toilet in the over?
Well, it would have been bad if we didn't have. You know, I was a little worried about that because it's the kind of thing that, you know, if the toilet breaks, you come home, right? And it's the pilot's job to clean the toilet, but you should always make sure it's really, really, really clean before you leave. And I have one little secret, and that is that toilet paper is not all that great, but they have this wet toilet paper. It's very, very good.
Down here at the very bottom, we have wet washes. These are just off-the-shelf baby wipes. You can see little teddy bears there. Okay.
I've never noticed the
teddy bears.
Yeah. This is a new thing.
Oh, it's new.
New brand,
I didn't think we had it last time.
It didn't come in blue or pink. Yeah.
What this facility does is provides you guys the capability to practice body alignment with the commode hole opening. Down there is a camera piped into this TV monitor here. If you guys want to check that out.
Oh yeah, I see.
Yeah. We'll go ahead and move on over to the functional trainer. At the very top here we have some rubber gloves, standard rubber gloves. And you want to wear one of these when you do any general cleaning in the waste management compartment. And also you want to put this on the hand that you're going to clean yourself with during urination and defecation. Up here we have what's called urinal funnels. And I'll go ahead and pull out all the types. You guys are only going to be interested in one. We have the male urinal funnel, and then we have 3 types of female urinal funnels. And the primary difference is that the female urinal funnel has holes. And what this enables them to do is hold it directly against their body, and that keeps the airflow coming in, and that's what actually draws in the urine.
Right.
Okay. For the male, they're just going to have to be a little more careful not to hold this directly against your body. You don't want to cut off that air. Install it in the end of the hose. Go ahead and hit your mode selector switch. Stop. And you're going to hear the fan steps coming on. You want to wait about 15 to 20 seconds until the fan steps come up to speed. You want to check your airflow.
Yeah, you can hear it.
Go ahead and urinate. For urination and defecation, essentially do the same thing. Again, do a real quick scan, make sure it's on fan step 1.
CSEMU. Check your airflow.
Okay. Then you want to maximize it by getting a real tight body seal. You don't want any air coming in around your body in the seat. So go ahead and get a good body seal. Reach up and grab a rubber glove. Pull up on what's called the commode control handle, or the CCH, in a nice, smooth, steady fashion. What that's going to do is pressurize the commode bowl.
So that's like the flush lever, sort of.
Right, sort of, yeah.
Okay. But you want to do that first.
You want to do that first.
Wait.
You want to pull up on that before. Okay. Right?
Right.
Yeah, so you come up, commode control up, wait 20 seconds, then forward. Then you get a proper seal.
Oh, you haven't used the...
No, not yet. I was saying, get a proper seal.
Okay, so that's gonna...
Well, you sort of threw me with the rubber glove. I thought the rubber glove was the cleanup procedure.
Oh,
but
no.
you grab
Clean
that.
yourself.
Get it on before you start.
Right.
Okay.
Get the rubber glove on before you start.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of had a backtrack there.
All right.
Rubber glove, put it on, good body seal.
Good body seal.
Reach over, pull up on the handle.
With a nice, smooth, continuous action.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, wait 20 seconds?
Right.
15 seconds?
And you can tell by sound.
The sound, okay.
And then go ahead and urinate and defecate. Clean yourself with the rubber glove. Get up. Make sure the commode seat is clean. Lift up. Make sure the bottom of the commode seat is clean. Look down in the transport tube here. That's that 3-inch metal lip you see. Make sure that is clean. You have the scraper tool that you can use to reach down in there and clean off. And that's the procedures for urination and defecation.
Okay.
think it would be like to take your trumpet in space and play it at 0G?
I don't know. I hadn't thought a whole lot about that. You know what I think I might like to do, though? Maybe write something up there. If I get some ideas, well, I'll jot them down and then flesh them out when I get back.
You think you have time for that?
Well,
yeah.
that's the big thing. It's pretty busy up there. You know.
Your mind constantly?
Yeah, you don't have time to do any.
Listen, what time do you play on Sunday? Because I forgot.
You know, I need to look at the schedule. It's either, I think we set up at 3 and play from 4 to 6.
That's probably a good time.
Something like that.
Okay,
yeah.
4 until 6.
Yeah, it should be fun.
That should be.
Mm-hmm.
For more information on the Skoda Felicia, call 0345 745 745 now.
Every day, our systems and services help carriers and immigration authorities meet their commitments. ICL Information Technology, supporting your way of life.
Hello, I'm Claire. Oliver has trouble with machines.
Hi.
Oh, hello.
A lot of people are struggling.
He's on holiday for 2 weeks. Can you hold?
Oliver is doing his voicemail.
Hello, Oliver here. I'm sorry, Oliver's not here at the minute.
The boss is addressing a problem.
Tell Oliver our new logo has to go to Tayside. If he loses it, what?
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 And only Ivan knows the answers.
You could have sent that logo by ISDN like that. It's the future, Oliver.
Package for the seaside, John.
When mankind meets machine, Mercury can help. Call for our free booklet to see how we've helped businesses like yours.
Warning from Thompson's Waterproofing. Water could be attacking your brickwork right now.
Stop it with Thompson's Water Seal. It's this easy. It forms a waterproof barrier so rain can't damage your bricks.
Spend a few quid on Thompson's or it could be a few hundred on repairs. Thompson's Water Seal and Thompson's Roof Seal. Buy now. Don't pay later.
At Vision Express, we're famous for innovation, like our 1-hour service. Now, Vision Express bring you Kodak thin and light lenses. Advanced technology, which makes lenses up to 22% thinner, 24% lighter, and 50% flatter.
They're so thin and light and only £15 extra.
And I've got a free second pair. Both pairs in an hour.
Another exclusive offer from Vision Express. Kodak thin and light lenses, only £15 extra.
Come to Futuroscope. Come inside the world of the moving image. Step into the future and enjoy thrills that will take your breath away. At Futuroscope, you'll be right in the picture, inside the third dimension. Futuroscope, the European park of the moving image, on the Paris-Bordeaux motorway in France, near Poitiers. An experience you mustn't miss.
I wanted a car with loads of space. Well, you have to, when you've got so many little monkeys.
Brian Duffy lives in a neat suburban street just by the Space Centre. Neil Armstrong and Jim Lovell once lived here too. Today is Thanksgiving and a day off for the crew.
All right, looks perfect.
Brent Jett has been invited for lunch because his wife has gone to visit her family.
Thanksgiving's out on the ship.
Christmas and things. It's pretty funny when you get turkey on the ship. You're not really sure it's turkey. They have this kind of generic chicken, turkey,
white meat,
some kind of white meat, and our term for it was we used to just call it yard bird. You know, whatever was running around the yard, some bird they went and got.
Come on, guys.
Huh?
Okay. Duffy. Great. You say grace. Okay.
Bless us, O Lord, and these are gifts which we are about to receive. In your bounty through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Chow.
Dear Lord, thank you for bringing us all together here on Thanksgiving. Amen.
Dear Lord, thank you for watching over us this past year. We have a lot to be thankful for. You've taken very good care of us. Thank you for bringing Brent with us here today so that we can share our meal together. Please bring Janet home safely tomorrow in her travels. And we have a lot of activity in the next year. Please watch over us and help us do everything safely. Amen. Great. All right. Let's eat.
How about you guys each say something when you say grace?
Normally Shannon says a kind of a standard opening prayer, and then Sean usually has a second one that he follows up with, and then I have more of the free form, you know, the prayer of the day thing. But, yeah, and sometimes I'll hand it over to Jan, and Jan will do the prayer of the day. Sweet potato casserole, butternut squash. Cheese. We've got cool sunglasses to wear.
These are really, really cool sunglasses.
You gotta see the ones we have. You haven't seen them yet either. No, they're really spacey.
Maybe I'll bring them home before? No.
Beforehand?
Actually,
No, we'll have them afterwards. Actually, they'll give them back to us. I think.
They're not that expensive either. I mean, they're like $90 or something at the store.
But we're gonna have, when we're getting the satellite, it's gonna come right dead overhead. The sun's gonna come dead overhead, and we're gonna be, you know, like from here to the car out across the street, away from the satellite, you know, flying in formation with it, and the sun's gonna go right behind it, so we're gonna be blinded for a while.
And these are the best UV and IR protection, right?
Yeah. I'm running out of room on my plate. I can fit a little bit right here.
Sorry to rival Leroy for who can eat the most.
The wet facility, Wet F to all who work here, is a deep pool containing a full-size working model of the shuttle's payload bay and robot arm. Spacewalk training takes place here. The astronauts, in 300-pound spacesuits, spend many hours underwater.
See, we get good press that way. They know you're healthy. Okay, next.
Doctors constantly monitor progress, and everyone gets a physical checkup before they are lowered into the water.
This is the liquid cooling ventilation garment. It's a garment that holds all these cooling tubes. Our body's metabolic rates are cooled by the water flow. Basically, we put this on underneath the suit, and we circulate the water around. We can adjust the temperature of the water to make sure we're comfortable. Make sure the weapons give me some problems.
Okay, it's still not completely in, but it's close. Okay, I think if I stand up now.
Underwater training is tough and dangerous. An ambulance is constantly on standby, and the astronauts are totally dependent on their training team. Underwater, they must learn all the skills of the construction worker. In space, they will practice assembly techniques for the International Space Station. Training sessions here last 6 hours, and the astronauts stay underwater for the whole time. In their 300-pound suits, they will sink like stones. The divers who guide and guard them change over every 2 hours.
Really, the biggest part of the training for the spacewalks is done in the water. It's a very simple concept, really. We have these mock-ups made that mimic the payload bay and the hardware that we're going to be using, and we're in these Class 3 suits that are used for training. We get in the water, and the safety divers will come over and put weights in different pockets or foam blocks as needed to weigh us out so that we're neutrally buoyant in the water. In this way, we can simulate that we're in space and actually doing the tasks that we'll be performing. Start with the node box. And Winston, you're going to do a translation adaptation.
Okay, sounds good.
Cap?
Yeah, I'm on top at this.
Okay, we got you guys mixed up.
Oh, yeah, we look so much alike. We're twins.
Identical. Yeah, I saw that movie too.
I never did see it. Okay, the lock is rotating at 90 degrees. Tell you what, let me, divers, do you have the real power tool? Okay.
And DCS, can you make EB1 suit warmer, please? Didn't work. Thanks. Can you get on the other side? I'm going to rotate it around here. People always ask, well, don't you get thirsty and hungry? And the answer is, well, of course you get thirsty, especially working very hard. So we wear drink bags inside of our suits, and we have an optional food stick, which is kind of a dried fruit roll that most of us don't carry because you have to be careful about not dropping bits and pieces of it and making a big mess inside of your suit. People asking, well, how do you go to the bathroom because you're in the suit for so long? My own way of dealing with this is that morning I only have half a cup of coffee. And, we do wear diapers in the spacesuit, but to this date I haven't had to use one yet. Although I understand they work quite well.
Suggestion to you. Are you letting the PFR drag behind you?
Well, I'm being careful not to drag it, but I've got to use two hands. So I'm holding as best I can. Occasionally I have to turn it loose. Yeah, we're limited to two hands here.
Safety is always a big concern, and that's why we have so many divers in the water. They all go through a very rigorous training course. They're professionals. This is their job. They can get us out of the water and onto the deck if there's an emergency, and literally in seconds.
Let's see,
I think it's all in one piece, so it's respectable pieces. Respective pieces.
I don't remember breaking anything.
Okay, well that sounds good. Safety divers, go ahead and attach backpack to the donning station.
Yeah, that one got a little bit up.
The hands are so... You ought to sit up there and watch that little Sony TV for 7 hours.
Yeah, but you could drink coffee up there and eat cookies and potato chips. Everything worked good. Just ran out of water.
Really?
That's because I drank too much.
Oh.
What size bag do I have, you know?
The small. I think there's only one large right now.
Okay.
One of the extra largest.
Okay, I probably need maybe a large on orbit or something.
Last test.
Leroy did.
Yeah.
And then he took my large.
Yeah.
We got to have a discussion.
How was everything today?
Good, except I had the small bag and ran out of water. Because I understand somebody took the big one because they broke the big bag last time, so they took my big bag.
But we're working on getting you another one. As a matter of fact, I was working on that. At least a couple of weeks we'll have a second one here.
Africa, for all of its size, does not really have any continental mountains. As you can see, the major rivers, for example, are the Nile River. And again, I'll show you pictures of most
The
of
world
these
looks
things
very different from space.
So we have the Nile,
Astronauts must be able to identify whole countries from the air. Each mission has photographic targets. STS-72 will be concentrating on bringing back pictures of Africa for the world's geographers and keeping their eyes peeled for any interesting changes.
We have exactly one picture in our public domain database of the Niger River Delta. So with your mission going later in the year, you may have an opportunity to get some photography of the Niger River Delta. And
one of the things that's misleading when you look at that map is that would make you think that there's a lot of Africa that was green. In reality, Africa is not green at all. Africa is very brown. And I think that's just an elevation map, if I'm not mistaken. But it's misleading when you look at it because it would make you think, oh, there's forest or pasture land or whatever there. In fact, it's desert, it's rock.
A lot of sand.
A lot of sand. You can see the wind scars, and I'm sure Fred will show us those in the slides that we have there.
And then a nice oblique shot, high oblique shot of the Red Sea, part of the Nile River. Here you can see the Aswan Dam and Lake Nasser. And just remember that the sandier looking part of Egypt is toward the west. And again, you can see where or why the Nile River is so important to the country of Egypt. And then if you look real close in this particular area, I see some old things that look like Star of David surface-to-air missile sites. And so again, I'm theorizing that maybe Muammar Gaddafi has put these out here for defense to keep the Egyptians from coming into his territory, because Egypt is just over this way, just maybe 25 to 30 miles away.
Well, they had a couple skirmishes with Chad not too long ago.
Right, right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you ready to power on?
Okay. 300 watts.
300 watts right off the bat. No warm-ups.
All right, there you go.
Commander at the control.
We'll fix it right up. Where's the decimal point going? I need to be able to extend my...
Weightlessness causes muscles to waste and eventually weakens the heart. Even on short missions, astronauts have to get plenty of exercise in space. A fold-away exercise bike will be an important part of Endeavour's payload.
Somebody else want to try it?
So you're at 10 watts, now you're at 20 watts.
This is so... Koichi, how are you feeling? Feeling pretty good? How about now? Oh, this is 200? Koichi, try changing the speed. It's real interesting. When you go past it. Yeah, that's right. Right. You like that one? Yeah, this is still okay. How about that one? You like that one? I still like it. I think I can handle this. You'll love this one. Guess your watts. Like, yeah, if I go slow like this, it's really heavy. Yeah. This is interesting. What to do like that? Even if I go very slow, it's almost zero. Yep. Good guess.
No.
They just come on up and...
How do you adjust your neck?
So Winston.
Do you adjust it at all?
Yeah, you plug down a little bit.
taping these back.
Oh, that one's not taped? Oh, no.
It's all right, we'll tape it with some of this tape. Okay.
Every mission has one official photograph. Thousands of copies are distributed to space enthusiasts around the world. The astronauts will spend their spare minutes between now and launch day signing personal mementos for everyone who has worked on the mission.
Okay. And then just stand.
Yeah, you can just watch it.
Operate on it, stand.
Okay. You guys look pretty good. Close your legs in just a little. Up and close.
We gotta take one.
I gotta get the patch in there. Drape a black cloth over that bar so it hangs down and blackens out. I can see right underneath it.
What if I moved in? Is that...
Well, it still shows a little. Okay, really good grin. You guys are looking really cheese right into the lens. Okay, nice big smile right here. Look into the lens. Be sure to sit up straight. Otherwise, you get the double chin. Here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
We never stop watching. SO Price Watch.
This is the most hazardous terrain on Earth. On this surface, there is an all-terrain vehicle that really holds its own, thanks to its ability to change between 2- and 4-wheel drive at speeds of up to 60 miles per hour. This is the surface. This is the vehicle. The Mitsubishi Shogun. Supreme off the road, superb on.
We've all done it, haven't we? You're about to ring an old friend and then you think to yourself, perhaps not. It might be a bad time. Well, you could ask them.
June, great to hear from you.
Is this a good time?
Well, we have got a bit of a crisis on at the moment.
The mice have escaped.
Half an hour, would you? Great. Then we can talk in peace.
Oh, thanks for calling back, June. Oh, Tina left the cage door open. One of the mice is still missing, but I'm sure it'll turn up. Listen, you'll never guess what's happened to Linda.
There you go. Now you got time to have a proper natter.
What? Sideways?
See? It's good to talk.
We never stop watching. SO Price Watch.
Six weeks before launch day, the Space Shuttle Endeavour, pronounced fit for its journey of 3.5 million miles, is rolled out of the vehicle assembly building at the Kennedy Space Center in Florida. When it's in space, the shuttle will orbit the Earth at over 17,000 miles an hour. Today, it creeps along at 1 mile an hour on its 6-hour crawler journey to the launch pad. The crew of STS-72 fly into Kennedy for a 3-day minute-by-minute dress rehearsal of the lead-up to their launch. The press have also been invited.
I guess they just bring them right out here to the parking lot.
Bring them right to the base, yeah, in the parking lot. The buses pull over, they let them walk over this side of the street right before the guard check.
Journalists and film crews have begun to arrive from around the world. Koichi Wakatai is a big star in Japan, and every Japanese newspaper and television station has sent at least one representative. For Brian Duffy and his crew, safety escape procedures still dominate. On launch morning, the nearest rescue teams will be 3 miles away. If there is an emergency, the crew will have to save themselves.
But if, you know, there was debris blocking your path and you had to beat down the fires to get around it, then that's the only reason you need to know about it.
宇宙から地球を見るって一体どんな打ち上げを間近に控えたスペースシャトルです。ケネディ宇宙センターではここ数年、だいたい2ヶ月に1度の割合でスペースシャトルの打ち上げを行っています。
Once you come off the arm, you've got another hose reel here in the corner, same type configuration as is on the arm, and of course you'd use it for the same reason. George Hoggart's not up here. He's trying to position the M113 down there for your tank driving. So he gave me permission to do this. But this is for the rescue team. These are rescue chairs. They've also got the restraints to tie your arms and hands together. So if they do put you in here, you won't be frailing about and so forth.
大丈夫なはずだよ。待っててくれる？52階建てのビルの高さがあるんだそうです。ここでスペースシャトルを何度も組み立てて。
Those water is only for 195.
Yeah,
This
those,
level.
Those activate these red nozzles.
And
here.
this one is here.
Yeah, so you
Right,
follow
okay.
the yellow path all the way around to the basket.
And here you have to activate this. Otherwise,
I think if you activate one, you get it.
No, I think you get them all.
Get them all.
Get them all.
2 hours before the launch, the crew will be left alone, strapped in Endeavour 200 feet above the ground. In an emergency, they must leap into the safety baskets, which slide down 1,200 feet of steel rope in a matter of seconds.
Inside here, in case the guillotine should fail for any reason, there is a little pouch with a utility knife, and you can just cut the Nomex and you're off and running.
This is it.
But the inside's all nice and padded for you. And usually when you sit in here, if you just put your backpack up against this and then the next person sits kind of between your legs, and that seems to be the easiest way. But weight limit-wise, it will hold 4 bodies. So you don't want to leave anybody behind, of course.
Who's going to cruise? Who changed their minds?
Gee, maybe they really didn't want to go after all.
But on launch day, this is the vehicle that will be here for your use should you be directed to come down the slide wire basket. All the top hatches will be closed, back ramp will be down. The first person up in here that feels like they want to drive it just scrambles on up into the driver's compartment and cranks it up and takes off.
Keys are in?
Keys are in, it's ready to go, sir.
The tank is for escaping fire and explosions. The astronauts are instructed to seal themselves in and crash through the perimeter fences as they head for safety.
I have the pleasure of introducing the STS-72 crew. They're here for the countdown demonstration test here at Pad B. And I'll introduce Commander Brian Duffy. We'll take a few questions.
Todd Halverson of Florida today for Winston Scott. I think you are one of only a couple of black astronauts in the Corps right now, and I'm wondering if you can give us an idea of why that might be and what can be done to attract more blacks and other minorities to the astronaut program.
That's a real good question. I get it fairly often. Primarily, I think there's so few African-American astronauts because so few people apply. What we have to do is reach out to the younger students to acquaint them with not just space exploration, but science and engineering and technology in general, and to foster in them the excitement of what it means to be involved in those endeavors. I can nurture it from the younger kids on up, and I think the problem of small numbers will take care of itself. We see a lot of progression over the last few years, and I can remember 10 years or so ago in the Navy, you didn't see very many women. Then we had programs like Women's Introduction to Science and Engineering, and now we look around us and we have women in all areas and all levels of space exploration and science and technology. Well, the same thing is going to happen for African Americans and for Hispanic Americans and Native Americans, and so we got to reach out to that pool of talent and encourage those people to come in and participate.
And just a quick follow-up, I was wondering whether you had decided whether or not to take your trumpet along with you on the mission.
Well, I thought about that, but I figured if I played a couple of notes, these guys would kick me outside, and that would ruin my whole day up there. So, no, I didn't think very seriously about taking a musical instrument in space. That's kind of fun to do, and a lot of people have done it before, but I did not decide to do that.
All right, news media, you need to board your buses now, please. They have to train you.
Yeah, thank you.
That concludes the press briefing.
At 7:15, one of the escorts will take you all out to crew quarters, and you will have breakfast/dinner with the crew. The crew will be eating breakfast, and you all will be eating dinner. So that's your one and only time that you'll be at crew quarters, unless the mission starts to slip, and then
Trudy Davis's job is to chaperone the crew's wives and children during the launch and the mission. She's a kind of crew policeman who keeps the press as far away as possible.
When are you getting in?
I'm getting there the night of the 10th. No, the night.
Night of the night. So
yeah,
you're going to
Tuesday
miss.
Night.
You're going to miss the dinner on Monday and the barbecue on Tuesday. What time are you getting in?
Late Tuesday evening. So all I have is whatever time is allotted on Wednesday.
The people that have been invited to the barbecue have to get primary contact physicals before we go. So we normally pick them up at the Cape Winds, take them to get their physical, and then go to the barbecue.
But it's early.
So you will see that the bus will get there at 6 o'clock in the morning. We leave at 6:15, and physicals will be from 6:45 to 8 o'clock. If they've been exposed to anything, they will not pass the primary contact physical. They will not be allowed to go to the barbecue. We have had Many times we have had people that have failed their physicals, and they get very upset and they get embarrassed, and it's an awkward time, but the docs will not pass them. One mission we had 3 people failed, and one of which was the priest. And needless to say, the mission didn't go off the next day either. I told the docs, I said, you can fail anybody, but don't fail the priest.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what. Let's
Yeah, let's see if they got name tags on the doors already.
Yeah, okay.
It's been a while since I've been here.
Yeah, I haven't been here since the ass came. Where's yours?
Okay. We'll get all this stuff.
And I'm over here.
Side here. You got the...
For the last week before their mission, the crew withdraw from the world. Only instructors, staff, and sleeping partners can visit the crew here.
Everyone can use it. It's okay.
Very bright. Oh, you ain't seen nothing yet. Okay.
Once in orbit, the crew will need to work during the Houston night. To prevent the space version of jet lag, they will begin shifting their sleep patterns in quarantine by working under 240 high-powered lights, which simulate the effects of sunshine.
Brent and those guys. Okay, they're already in there.
Okay.
All right.
Where's the dark spot? Now, what you just saw in there, you all have a lighted version, and that's normal. That's normal. Okay.
Yeah, we do.
It's very important that you get your light tonight, tomorrow night, and the following night. You need to have 3 sets of light for it to actually do a fascia. It's almost like a buffer. You have to fill up that buffer before it's actually accepted by the body. Over these next 3 days, it's going to be looking for a confirming cue that the phase you're on right now is the right phase, and that the phase that you're trying to be shifted to is the wrong phase. So over the next few hours, you're going to really feel like this is work. It's not going to be fun, it's not going to be pleasant, but if you adhere to the protocol, it will work. And if you go out one time over the next 3 days, then all the hard work that you put in to make this happen will evaporate like that.
We have trained together for over a year, and we understand how to work well as a team together. Each of us has their own individual tasks to perform, but I think we all recognize that no one individual could bring this mission home successfully. I think it boils down to mutual respect and genuine friendship.
And then the kids find a raft full of people that didn't know each other before they got on the river, and they all got one.
What
are you
doing? This is my AM.
This is the measurement, I mean the change in height.
Yeah, you measure it in the morning when you first wake up, and you measure it at night before you go to bed. Then they see what happens when you're on orbit, and people actually stretch, an inch or 2 on orbit.
Oh yeah, we got to do this.
Oh, wow, he's 7 feet tall.
I didn't do that last night.
I forgot too.
Okay, that's it. You're 71.
Okay.
71 centimeters. Exactly. The man is 71.
He's got shoes on.
No.
Oh, you took them off?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, I grew a little bit, I think. Usually I'm a little bit.
S970, Roger. Pad flyby above 1,000 is approved. Winds are
It's 36 hours to launch as the crew fly into the Kennedy Space Center in Florida. The launch pad and Endeavour are almost ready.
Sliced beef and barbecue sauce, that's always a favorite.
So, Koichi, how do you like German food?
I like sausage, but that's all. That's all.
I'm with you, Koichi. That's what I think. After the lengths of sausage, that's it.
The crew are now beginning their day at midnight and going to bed at lunchtime. Time shifting for the mission is complete.
It's very far away from natural, but fermented soybeans. You know this.
It doesn't have a size.
The technicians are making the final checks on pressurization. Struggling into their pumpkin outfits or suiting up will be the last job the astronauts do before they leave for the pad tomorrow.
Sure we can't make that liquid heating? Probably need it.
O2 hoses.
Hey, maybe I should disconnect it here. You cannot disconnect it?
I can disconnect it.
Okay.
Hang on a second.
Just cord over its foot, giving you a little extension here. I didn't connect the liquid cooling. Should I have that?
You didn't?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you should have.
You want to wait around here? Okay, what we're going to do is go ahead and have you sit down again. Okay, coming down. You're doing perfect.
I got him.
Doing perfect. Okay, and what we want you to do is go ahead and dial this open.
A loss of pressure on Endeavour's flight deck would mean that the crew would need to seal themselves into their flight suits and turn on their individual oxygen supplies.
Normal breath and hold it, and I'll get through this as quick as we can. Okay. All right. Partial pressure suits are designed for comfort.
Are you in pain?
Well, not yet, but I feel the pressure.
Take a breath and hold it.
Okay.
0.4, don't move, don't breathe, don't breathe.
Brian, tomorrow morning are we out at the pad?
"24 hours to go before the spaceship Endeavour leaves on its 10th mission with the crew of STS-72. It's too late now to learn anything new. All that training is about to be put to the test.
Well, next week the quarantine continues for the Endeavour crew as they make the final preparations for blastoff. That's next Monday night at 9.